Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about The Sand, an upcoming new launch in D21, which is in the RCR, and it's also in between Beauty World and Hume.
So let's dive in. So a bit of the disclaimer once again, everything we do is based on our own opinion and our research lah. If you really want to dive deeper into the sand, right, do look for us and we're happy to share with you more. So a bit of the perspective. So one thing about sand, right, I think the developer will load the block that is facing the Bukit Batok nature because it will be fully unblocked and you have a greenery view. Definitely the highest floor will have a very fantastic view over there.
In terms of the project info, of course what we mentioned was a 10-story, but one interesting thing they say there's a childcare center for those that need a childcare. I think this is something good for you. Then of course one important thing is that there's 1-to-1 provision, which means 347 units, there's 347 parking lots, because
usually now the trend, they are reducing the parking provided. Some projects even introduce 50%. I think they are very near MRT. Normally it will be 80% provided because they think the 1 and 2 bedder, right, sometimes for the people who are buying to rent out, so they might have no car, so usually the developer actually provide 80%, but for this is 1-to-1.
Yeah, if we look at the site plan, I think it's a very normal, with a proper facilities. We have a lap pool here. We also have a lifestyle pool for families, and then there's a tennis court over here. All the major facilities that is found in a normal condo.
Yeah.
In terms of the location, right, we are actually in between Beauty World and Hume. I would say that where is it exactly? We're over here. So if you want, the nearest MRT will be Beauty World, but I think a bit far to walk. So probably you'll take a bus stop, maybe 1 or 2 stops to Beauty World. And the good thing about this location, I would say, is we are actually surrounded by nature. We have the Bukit Batok Nature Park, we have the Bukit Timah Nature Reserve, and the Rifle Range Nature Park. So all these are all greenery, nature. For nature lovers, right, this is a very good location.
I think people who like here really like nature. Yeah, I think, and for people who stay at this vicinity will like the exclusivity because there will be low density. So people who like quiet, more privacy will like this location.
So of course the focus in this area, I will still say is Beauty World. Why? Because in the future there's going to be an integrated transport hub. So this is something that there will be a mall, there'll be everything all in this area. So in terms of amenities, people will be focusing on the Beauty World. Yeah, so this be the micro view. I think the most important that we're actually facing the Bukit Batok Nature Park. Yeah, so unit mix like we mentioned earlier is total 347 units. Okay, but the key thing to take note about, if you're looking at 1 bedder, there's only 10 units.
Correct.
So if you are looking into it, then just know that it's only 10 units, so your queue number probably have to be a bit more. Then in terms of the connectivity, like what I mentioned, right, in between Hume and Beauty World, of course we're not that close to the MRT, but if you see downtown line, for example, Beauty World is over here, we are able to connect to the Circle line, we are able to connect to the Red line, we are also able to connect to the Purple line. So basically it's well connected, it's just that it's a bit of a distance to the Beauty World MRT. So the developer, right, is actually SL Capital, which actually they did a lot of luxury projects. For example, the most prominent one will be Sky Everton. We have Coastline, we have One Mayor, we have 3 Cascadian, which is in the CCR region. So actually all these projects are very luxe projects
and iconic in a way. Actually for this sand, right, there's a lot of concern between the consumer because number one, they will say the sand, like the price almost similar to Faber. Which should we consider? Because one is RCR, one is OCR. But if you really go deeper to the sand, right, actually it's quite near OCR.
It's on the fringe of RCR,
but they fall into the RCR and also cheaper land cost. So one thing is today, will the price of the sand be close to Faber? So this is something that we have to take note, right? Which we don't have the information only yesterday. Okay, so for Faber, right, we actually have the starting from already. So based on what the developer price, assuming the highest is going to be 2350 per square foot, we can see that actually the developer is looking at the average of 2002. That means from the cheapest to the most expensive, right, there will be a gap of 17 to 18%. This is the gap that we have to focus. So from this gap, how can we use this percentage to derive the price? But first we must know for low rise, because Faber is low rise, is 17%, 18%, is it normal? So we actually use day 3. You can see from the launch date, right, the cheapest to the most expensive is about 16%. So we are very close. Then also we use Cambridge Hill for the launch day. The cheapest and the most expensive is also 17%. So we are very quite close. So we know that if you do it for low rise, the cheapest to the most expensive
will be about 17
to 18%.
Yes.
So how can we derive the price for the sand? So today we use 18%, then we plus 5%. So the price rate about 23%. So assuming the sand is going to sell at 19, because Faber is 1955,
Yeah. Why we start at 1.9, right, is because assuming the set also want to achieve the same average as Faber, assuming then we will start at about 1.9.
And also the developer just bought the land cheaper a bit. So that's why we assume to 1,009, right? So that means they want the average of 2,002, right? So it will be about 2,337. But today, if you're gonna set 1,950, right, based on 123%, their max range is about 2,004.
Why we do again? Because we assume that they want to achieve, example, the same average as Faber.
Yeah. So, but yesterday, right, the Sand actually launched the price the starting from. So right now, this is the starting from price where we have on the Sand. The starting from is about 2,002. So if you use 2,002 per square foot, that's 123%. The most expensive should be about 2,007, which translates to an average of the Sand is 2,450.
Yeah. So I mean, of course, this range is just based on our so-called calculations and all these
estimate lah.
We do not know exactly what is the highest going to be, but the key thing is that this starting from is actually what we predicted as the average. Yeah. So the Sand
actually higher.
So I mean, those that are quite price sensitive, maybe this would be a concern for them.
Because today, if 2,002 is starting from, then if average 2,400, right, there are a lot of things to look into already. And also the comparable become more obvious in a way like, should I really go into this project? So the first thing, another concern, right, will be your next door competitor. Because the next door competitor, the newest will be the Verdale, which is already TOP, and it's not like a very old project.
And it's also just beside actually.
So definitely people who want to really look in the sense want to go and see the Verdale. And the price itself will be a challenge. Because what we know in Verdale, some of the layout actually not so bad, right?
Not too bad. Comparable.
Comparable, also livable in a way, which we will show you later the comparison. But the most important right now, within 2 kilometers, there are even more competitors that is going to be your future competitor.
Yeah, correct. And why we choose these so-called 4 developments? One thing, because we choose the newer ones. Correct. We don't talk about the old ones. So we choose the newer ones, and Verdale is just beside. Okay, we also look at Daintree and View at Kismis, which is 99. Yeah, and newer. And then we also add in this Foret, which is actually a freehold. Why we add in? Because if you look at their average PSF, about 2.3 about 2.3 to 2.4, right? Average. Example, today, if you are going to enter somewhere around 2.4 PSF, then maybe you might want to
come into Foret.
Like, it could be an option.
Because you can get something freehold, immediate stay, immediate rental. So there are a lot of these type of things coming into our mind also when we saw the price. I think this is something that you have to really decide today. What's your objective of considering a Sand? Is it for investment or is it for own stay? Own stay element,
no right, no wrong.
No right, no wrong. But you have to compare because now you got time from the launch. Please go and view the resale over there.
Yeah.
Because they are brand new. They are not like very old that you need to do a lot of renovation.
Correct.
And especially those who are looking to buy and have an immediate rental. That one is also something that you have to consider because right now very sensitive with the price. So right now we're going to go for the layout analysis. We're going to go through the 1, 2, 3, 4 bedroom type and also how we see it. First, we need to know the surrounding rental for the 1 bedroom. Because 1 bedroom is always for rental. Yeah, mostly investor. So investor is all about rental use. So what is Verdale rental over there? So you can see the average about 3,000. So assuming today you use 3,000 times 12 months to get the 1 year rental.
Annual rental.
Then after that you use 452. Then if you get the starting from 2,002, your yield is about 3.6, which is somehow decent because right now it's quantum, it's something below 1 mil. You can get something new. Main thing is this is just the starting from. If you go about 1.0 plus all these things, right, then your yield start to drop. Secondly, you have to know that you only got 10 units.
I would say based on how they do the unit mix, right, I think the Sand is very focused on own stay.
Correct.
Yeah, because 10 unit only, honestly, is quite.
And they don't have 2 bed 1 bath. So next you see Verdale 1 bedroom listing. So today you are someone that is still looking at immediate rental. Maybe you can take a look at the resale listing over there to see how's the condition of the unit or the facing of the unit, because maybe there's some good unit. But of course when you see everything, then the unit all like very tree.
If not so good, then of course we try to go for the newer one.
Alright, because in the end the price almost the same. But main thing I think for 10 unit you need some luck involved. So for the 1 bedder layout versus Verdale, you will be using a lot of Verdale because it's just beside, because this is your direct competitor. They are the newest over there. Then in terms of layout efficiency, I think they are more comparable.
Yes.
So 1 bedder, right, the Sand will win because the Sand, right, for the 1 bedder they have windows for the toilets and the open concept kitchen, which is something very rare. Then after that it's all basic. If you see we put side by side, it's almost the same. Verdale 1 bedroom, right, is 463 but looks exactly the same. And but main thing is we got windows in a way. So this is something a plus point in terms of rental, or even someone who want to buy for own stay, that is something they will look into. So very fast, a 2 bedroom. Or the 2 bedroom, right, that is why the developer actually built more for own stay, because you see the 2 bedroom rental at about 3,007. If you use starting from the smallest ones for 6, 7, 8, you drop until 3.1%.
Yeah, and this is starting from.
So if you want to buy for investment to rent, not so preferred, because based on this you will already know 3.1 I think is something that not very fantastic rental yield, and it's going to come even lower lah, because
Yeah.
this is just starting from. And based on the video resale listing, there are still 36 listings. So same thing, do your homework. If you're buying for rental investment, go and take a look first, because I think there is cheaper alternative over there. So 2 bedroom, the layout, there are B1, B2. So for the 6, 7, 8 square feet, right, there is only, I think B1 is the most supreme one, because of how the developer designed the layout lah. Because you see first time 2 bed 2 bath you have an enclosed kitchen with a window. Then even your master bath also got window lah. Then your common also got window. Your walkway also got window. So definitely this room the airflow is good one, because usually here even the walkway here don't have one. Actually your this walkway will be very dark, and I think this one is the most superior one.
I think for 6, 7, 8, right, let's say even if you go to at the other resale properties, it's very rare to find so many windows.
And one thing is enclosable kitchen.
And it's 6, 7, 8.
And the most important also, right, the aircon ledge is over here. You can see the 6, 7, 8 for the B2, right, the aircon ledge is over here. So it's just beside your bedroom. So one thing I don't like, because it's us outside the bedroom, right, sometimes there might be noise. Of course now the glass is thicker, so maybe there's no noise, but in the other day there's maintenance, all these things, right, it might cause some disturbance. Which not so prefer. To me, B1 is the better one.
Yeah, I think if the developer knows and the B1 is the better one, I do not know, they might look some premium, because this layout is really fantastic. If it's the same price, I would say go for B1.
This one, this is an open concept. So the open concept is typical. You have more competitors. Right now, the unique selling point, if you really bought a B1, right, people come in different. Verdure 700 square feet, right, also open concept. So it's similar to this B2 already. When you want to go to a resale market, then people will compare your B1 and the Verdure and also your B2. Therefore, people will be willing to purchase the B1.
If the own stay, I would say layout very important.
And the feel very different. You see from this one, you see this walkway, no window. So here definitely very dark. So when we go resale, we show the house. Once we tell the person this window, this person will always remember this window.
Yeah, correct.
Because it's something not easy to find one. Then when you go to see other house, you will say, hey, no window.
Yeah.
But this is really resale's emotional psychology. For this 732, right, 732 quite standard. You have all the windows in all the correct places. But main thing is this walkway, you must see how much you want to pay for it. And also this one, right, I don't know, is still enclosable lah. So who should consider 732 is for, I think, for someone who wants a bigger living room. That's all.
Yeah.
Living dining, that's all.
Longer actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of the length.
Then of course the bedroom, right, you see you want a bigger master room. No?
Yeah, it looks slightly bigger.
Yes, you are paying just for this. So you must see in terms of how much is the upsize at that price point. Because if you want to buy 732, then the next jump will be the 2 plus study. So should we just go for a 2 plus study? You get one more study. Sometimes you have to think about this.
Yeah, this study, how important is it to you lah? Of course, for this layout, I would say the concern is that the kitchen is directly at the door. So it's not an enclosable kitchen. Then this one also. So for own stay, I mean, I would say most local buyers want an enclosable kitchen for those that do heavy cooking. So now this one is at the entrance, so that might be not a plus point but of course study .
So you must see how much you are paying for a study, because right now 732 square feet and 775 or 764 is very close. So you must see the price. But of course this is the different type of layout. This is dumbbell. Then both toilet will have no window. Then when the kitchen, right, is meant to enclose you and you must build yourself. But I think like what Dylan mentioned, right, sometimes some people will not like, because you must understand that you come in, you already have a walk inside the house, right? It's already kitchen.
Yeah, it's already kitchen.
So where you put your shoe? So you must think of this thing. You might not think of this when you are at the SHOWFLAT. Because we do resale, then we will
Resale common thing one.
once we go in, we will think about where to put the shoe. Because buyer will start to visualize staying. Because at SHOWFLAT, sometimes with all the decoration, then people will be distracted. But when it comes to resale, more focus on
The livability
practicality.
Because sometimes you go into resale, right? Let's say example, the seller put his shoes in a study. Then the buyer will suddenly think, why put the shoe in a study? Then you realize, I cannot put in the kitchen.
That's why.
Yeah, so you will realize because the person really staying there. But SHOWFLAT, they're showing a good sign.
Another thing, this 764, 775, what's the big difference? For me, what I can see from this is actually this part. Because for the 775, you have a full length from both sides. Whereas this one, they take away some of the space here. If you want a bigger cabinet space in the kitchen area, of course, definitely go choose the 775 will win. Because in the other day, I think this small size per square foot jump, I think can pay a bit more. Unless the developer load a lot for this B4A. For Verdure, don't have 2 plus study, so their biggest is 753. So definitely it's an enclosable kitchen. But one thing I don't know whether that window, based on this, don't have. It's a very normal link.
And no study.
Can you see? That's why I go and get the 678, the B1. That's why I say the B1 is the supreme. So today, which we will prefer right, for me, I will just go for B1. The study is a luxury, I think.
Yeah, of course, again, how important is this study? You really need it. Yeah, how much you're willing to pay for it.
Because for the study, right, if today I 775, I might want to go for a next jump, right? Must see the gap.
So now we'll go into the 3-bedroom analysis. So the 3-bedroom, we have this 872 square feet.
Okay, so this at 872 square feet, right, for me, cannot compare to other layout because this one quite special. I think it's just standalone. I think the developer is smart to add in this bomb shelter. I think this one is meant for people who are upgrade for HDB, because a lot of people, when it comes to resale, right, they upgrade to a 3-bedroom compact. They will always ask me where's the storeroom. There is no storage.
Yeah.
Then they open the DB box. So much sound.
Storage is the concern.
So they have no space to build. That's why the developer is what they include a bomb shelter just to cater for 3-bedroom and still got a storage place. But a bit not so good point will be the open concept, because usually 3-bedroom
People prefer enclosed. Then another thing is, of course, this aircon latch is again just outside your bedroom. So like what Matthew mentioned earlier, you know, the noise, all these things might be a concern. But other than that, I would say
it's just to build for
upgraders with a certain budget.
that needs a 3-bedroom. The study cannot.
Study too small.
So that's why when you comes to 2 per study, right, please compare with the 872 at that point in time, right, which pricing makes sense. If the gap is not so big, I think just go for 872. So the C2 or 936, right,
The proper 3-bedroom.
one thing they can do, right, is everything got window lah. Then with the utility, so this is flexible. So for people who wants more standard lah, and enclosable kitchen, this one is the next gen. The 936 will be something that you should go for, because when we compare with the 947, right, because very special for Verdil, right, the 947 they don't have utility room, but the 1001 got utility room but WC. But our 936 in the sense, right, got utility, no WC. So we are stuck in between. So you must ask yourself whether do you need a WC. Because if you need a WC, then definitely go Verdil and take a look at that layout. Then which we prefer for this one, right, is definitely C2 lah. C2 because it's enclosable. And then you got one utility room.
Proper 3-bedder.
This is a proper 3-bedder. Yeah, I think because of the harmonization, right now developers are able to build all these things.
So of course, if we look at the bigger 3-bedroom, the 1109 square feet, of course, one thing good, again, there's the WC. We also have a utility, or what we call a home shelter, but this one looks like a bomb shelter vibes. I think more or less also looks okay, just that this dry kitchen seems to be in a bit of an awkward positioning. Why I say that? Because for this utility room, you only have this small space. So if you keep it empty, then why is there empty space there? So of course, the developer decided to put a
dry kitchen.
It's
a fixed dry kitchen already with cabinetry, right? Then if you want to take away, it also waste money. I think when the developer designed this bomb shelter, after see all this space, right, then you can don't use, also a bit weird.
Yeah, because the flow, right, for the dry kitchen to the wet kitchen, not so seamless in this manner. But one thing good point I see in this layout is that you have so-called bigger frontage. It's not the narrow, normal 3-bedder. This one at least is a bit more landscape. So this is a very good point. Yeah, then of course this one again, although you get privacy, but again, how this space a bit wasted. Then if we were to look at the 3-bed plus study, then this one, in this case, I would say the dry kitchen now makes sense because it's very seamless. It's connected. This one, okay, the dry kitchen, they put it at the correct place. This utility also tucked in one corner, which is a good point. Of course, this one, in terms of the study, you have a study, and the study in the layout, they actually put a bed here. So it could be a mini room also. And then you have a powder room.
So powder room means that there will be a
shower point. But other than that, of course, you have still the other, you got one bathroom here and the master bathroom here.
And they make it with a walk-in wardrobe.
Walk-in wardrobe, which is bigger in terms of the master bedroom.
So if you ask me today, if the 3 plus study and the 3-bedroom, this premium, right, if you can afford to stretch, right, go for the 3 plus study. But one concern, I think, when we discuss about layout, he also mentioned is because of
the 1259 square feet. I mean, if you look at other developments, I think got 127 something on, right, is already a 4-bedder. So in this case, let's say you are looking to go to 3-bedroom plus study, right, but you see the price is a bit on the high side, and maybe you will be thinking, hey, maybe I should consider a 4-bedder in other location. Yeah, so that one depends. Yeah.
So in the end of the day, you must be very clear. Today, when we reach certain price point, or maybe if I already like this layout, then you must compare. Based on 3 plus study, 1259, right, this type of pricing, right, what can I get in other developments? Is there a 4-bedroom? If there is, maybe we can compare the layout, all these things.
Yes. Yeah, but I will say, if let's say you are okay with a 3-bedroom plus study, right, it means that this layout is actually quite luxurious.
Yeah, because this layout, I think I cannot find any fault because it's designed in a very practical way, not much wasted space. Even coming in the house, right, the width is quite pleasant, not narrow as you compare for the 110.
This one really feels got the 4-bedder feel. So it's a very, very luxurious 3-bed plus study. So now we'll look into the 4-bedroom analysis. Okay, so 4-bedroom, actually not much layout to choose from. It's actually just a a mirror image. Yeah, so just these two layout. I would say again, it's a 4-bedroom plus study. It's actually a very straightforward layout. Again, we have a right frontage, which is very important for a 4-bedder. You realize the entrance, we don't have much wasted space lah. It straight away come in, is the house ready. Yeah, then of course this one, again, we have a dry kitchen, wet kitchen, and everything. Then you got a study, and then you got 4 proper bedrooms.
Usually when it comes to 4 and 5 bedroom, if there is something to nitpick, then jialat already.
Because this one, I would say the buyers for this one really need the luxurious feel one. This one is a different thing they're going to look at.
Because the quantum of the different part. Today I pay so much, right? But I must get something that I like. That's why the design wise, right, is very livable because it's the biggest already.
Of course, the thing you need to compare with Verdale lah. Yeah, but why is Verdale so-called maybe got a bit of advantage, right? Is because if you see this kitchen layout, this door can actually open up one. Yeah, so if let's say you are someone that like to do hosting and all that, right, actually this area can be used also because you have an island here. You can actually use this area which enlarges your entire living area.
There's another area for you to hang out lah, in a way.
Yeah, another area to hang out. So it's very good for hosting. Of course, the key difference also, we must remember that this one don't have study, but this one got everything all proper. The normal proper 4 bedrooms. So I would say the good point about this one, of course you got a WC, you got utility, even got a yacht.
And the bathroom tree, if I remember correctly lah. Because
bathroom tree, yeah.
Yeah, because that one is a powder room.
Correct. So that is the difference. If let's say you don't really need the extra study, then I would say maybe Verdale can be something you can look at.
Okay, so the question today, I think we have to ask ourselves for the scent, right? Because I think one of the thing we see is the starting from and the average pricing is very comparable to the resale, and not to the extent that it's the older product. It's also very close to the newer product over there, like Florex, Verdale, Daintree, MBU at Kismis, all this, right? If you are really into this area, you like this area, do check out the resale over there, then do some comparable. Because in the end of the day, resale, no choice one. It's whatever in the market is in the market. You cannot like, I like the one with the that view that, but that one nobody's selling, right? Yeah, you also no chance, ma. So one thing is, if you like the area, do check out and also do some comparable in terms of the resale over there. I think you can still get some good deals.
Yeah, I think the scent overall is okay. It's only thing that we might maybe want to take into consideration is the pricing. So that is something that we need to be a bit more sensitive, and also the way we strategize and analyze for this project will be a bit different from what we usually do because again, this is a mid-rise, so we cannot really use low-rise strategy. We also cannot use high-rise strategy. So this is a mid-rise strategy. So today, right, of course, I would say for the scent, right, it's a very interesting development because it's a mid-rise development. So we cannot actually use low-rise strategy, and we also cannot use high-rise strategy. So today, if you want a bit more research or a bit more analysis on this project or whatever project that you're looking at, please feel free to contact us. I'm Dylan.
I'm Matthew.
We'll see you soon.
Remember to subscribe.